Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atikah binti Muhammad Muzamil. My group members is Syakirah binti Muhammad Razak and Nur Shuhada binti Zainan. The title of this presentation is Analysis of 10 abuse drug in urine by large volume sample, stacking sweeping capillary electrophoresis with an experimental design strategy. There is 5 main parts in this presentation, which is introduction, sample treatment or sample preparation, method development or instrument analysis, method validation and conclusion. Okay, for the introduction, let me introduce the name of journal, which is Journal of Chromatography A. The volume of this journal is 1295. The page is from 136 until 141. The publisher is Elsevier. There is 5 authors, which is Yu Xiangho, Xu Xinwang, Yu Xiao, Wei Kongko and Xiao Mingyu. The title of this journal is Analysis of 10 abuse drug in urine by large volume sample tracking sweeping capillary electrophoresis with an experimental design strategy. Okay, for the types of analyte, first, there is 10 frequently consumed drug in powder form, as you can see in the slide. Other than that, there is 6 kinds of abuse drug called BZD, also known as benzodiazepines. Second is sodium dihydrogen phosphate, methanol, ethyl acetate, and sodium dodecyl sulfate were obtained from MERCK pharmacy. Third is Millicue water produced from Millipore ultra pure water system was used for preparation of the buffer and related aqueous solution. For the main journal, the instrument used is PSC-MDQ electrophoresis apparatus equipped with an UV detection. The wavelength of detection was set at 200 nanometer. Second is plaquette Berman design is used for investigating the dependence of some measured quantity on a number of independent factors. Third is central composite design is used to bring the parameter to a near stationary region. Compared to journal 2, the instrument used is ultra high performance liquid chromatography quadruple time or flight mass spectrometry analysis. From the journal 3, analyte were determined by gas chromatography tandem mass spectrometry using a variant CP 3900 gas chromatograph connected to a variant Saturn 2100 ion trap mass spectrometer. Why CE is better than HPLC or GC in this journal? This is because CE is a suitable tool for routine examination of the presence of abuse drug as it facilitates fast separation and requires small sample. The advantage of CE compared with HPLC is CE has a greater peak capacity as it uses a very large number of theoretical plates compared to HPLC. Second is electro-osmotic flow profile in the capillary is flat, as a result no band broadening, better peak resolution and sharper peak, while HPLC has rounded laminar flow profile that is common in pressure driving system, resulting in broader peak and lower resolution. CE has a wider selection of analyte to be analyzed, while HPLC is limited by the solubility of the sample. The advantage of CE compared with GC is CE is suitable for wider range of metabolite than GC. CE has a short analysis time than GC, and lastly is automating the derivation and extraction procedure is better in CE than GC.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shuhada binti Zainan. So I will be presenting about sample preparation part consisting of sample pre-treatment procedure and sample preparation procedure. For the sample pre-treatment, it mainly consists of extraction procedure. Firstly, 500 microliters of urine was extracted using 500 microliters of ethyl acetate, and then the sample is vortexed for 3 minutes and centrifuged at 12,000 rpm for 10 minutes. In the third step, 450 microliters of organic layer is moved to a 1.5 ml of microtube. After the first extraction, the urine layer is alkalized to pH of 13 using 1 molar of sodium hydroxide. The extraction of urine is repeated again using the same procedure. Lastly, a total of 900 microliters of organic layer is evaporated in centrifugal vaporizer and reconstituted with 500 microliters of phosphate buffer, 10 micromolar, pH of 5, sodium dihydrogen phosphate containing 300 nanogram per ml for capillary electrophoresis analysis. The sample preparation consists of 3 simple steps. Firstly, all kinds of benzodiazepines were prepared in methanol and standard solution of methamphetamine ME, morphine M, codeine C, and ketamine K were prepared in water. Next, the standard solution is suitably diluted into an identical concentration by using urine sample. And lastly, all the samples are stored at -70°C until the day of analysis.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Syakirah binti Muhammad Razak. I will continue the presentation with extra information we got from this channel. First is the method of development used and instrument analysis for better recovery. And also I present types of method validation, which is accuracy and precision by compared to one of a chosen journal. For method development used in this journal is DOE, Design of Experiment. Basically, in this study, they started use all fat to hold all factor but one constant. All fat is one factor at night. vary the level of the factor of the interest until get the best value. But they notice that offset cannot lead to a real optimum of the factor. So, they continue to use DOA, which give a precisely estimate the effect of each factor. DOA have a lot of the design, but in this journal, they use a placard permanent design, which is PBD, and a central composite design, CCD, must prefer, which provide better resolution and faster separation in capillary electrophoresis. In the point 2, PBD used to investigate over some quantified number of the independent factors. However, only an optimal range of each factor can be detected by PBD. Therefore, the addition of the method CCD was used to bring a parameters at near stationary region and give optimal condition of factor of the experiment. So, there are several factors to be considered in this study. In the point 3, which is a fraction of the organic modifier, buffer concentration, concentration of a sample matrix, buffer pH values, and STS concentration. In point 4, first in the PBD, several factors was carried out. Started with the range for PBD, range of the organic modifier at 30 to 70 mm, sample matrix concentration 5 to 15 mm, methanol buffer ratio range was chosen 15 to 30%, STS concentration was set in the range ratio 80 to 160 mm, buffer pH value at pH 2 until 3. In point 5, method development was continuing with CCD to get optimal condition. Organic modifier was chosen with 50 mm, buffer concentration with pH 2, concentration for a sample metric 10 mm, pH value at 5, STS concentration at 150 mm. Continue to the instrument analysis for better recovery. In our main journal, for instrumental analysis in this experiment, they use a CE, which is a capillary electrophoresis. Several methods have been developed for detection of BZT or abuse drugs through a gas chromatography and high-performance liquid chromatography. Among these techniques, CE is a suitable tool for routine examination for the presence of the abuse drugs, as its fatalities fast separation and requires small sample to introduce. This equipped with an UV detection, and the maximum wavelength used for UV is 200 nanometer. Data were collected and was analyzed by using a software from a Beckman. So, we compare to the other journal, which is we take from a researcher Lin say 2021, the instrument analysis is used is ultra-high performance liquid chromatography with mass spectrometer. In this journal, they undergo with 62 drugs or analyte compared with our main journal, which is only 10 drugs or analyte. Based on this journal, they started use HPLC and has to do a simple dilution method for a better instrument process by using HPLC. Because endogenous component were not removed during a sample preparation, the LC chromatography condition were optimized to minimize the matrix effect caused by endogenous component. So, we conclude that HPLC are more sensitive than CE when undergo the drugs as the analyte. In this method, validation contain accuracy, precision, sensitivity, detection limit, selectivity, and robustness. In this method validation, I will explain accuracy and precision. The rest will explain by Shuhada and Atikah. So, what is the meaning of the accuracy? Accuracy is the closeness of the agreement of a test result and the accepted reference value. The term accuracy should only be used when dealing with an individual result. Accuracy assessment is normally calculated as a percent recovery and is done by analyzing matrix spike. So the formula has shown below. In our main journal, percentage recovery is 10 abuse drug, 6 of BZT, which is 75.8 until 88.5%. For codeine, 77.6%. For morphine, 58%. For methamphetamine, 63.5%. And ketamine is 71.6%. In Journal 2, they are a little bit different because they use a mass spec to determine the analyte. The screening match tolerance were set as a rotation time, and also they use a relative mass accuracy. The formula has shown below. So from a 62 drug, we only provide the example that we got in our main journal and compared to Journal 2. For example, like morphine, 166, and for codeine, and also the methamphetamine, 150, and this one is the example of the BZT, clobazam, temazepam, with 301,0738, and also the metobarbital, amobarbital, which is a 225,1245. Precision is the closeness of the agreement between the independent test result obtained under stipulated condition. Precision is usually expressed in the term of a standard deviation or RSD, relative standard deviation. The higher the RSD, the more spread out the results are from the mean of the data. On the other hand, a lower RSD means that measurement of the data is more precise. In this journal, precision or RSD, we found a low concentration, medium concentration, and also the high concentration. For a low concentration, 14.54%, medium concentration, 4.44%, high concentration, 12.52%. So we know that the medium concentration is more precise. In the journal 2, we found that the precision were calculated by a retention time, which is a 4.52 retention time and a 39% for the higher concentration spike sample, 0.38 retention time and 0.51% for the low concentration spike sample. So we know that the low concentration spike sample are more precise.
Sensitivity in analytical chemistry is the ability of a measuring instrument to detect changes in target analyte concentration. In other words, it is defined as the lowest analyte concentration that can be measured with acceptable accuracy and precision. Sensitivity is expressed in terms of Ka and is used as a parameter in the monitoring of instrument performance and optimization of method parameters during a method development. Detection limit LOD is the actual concentration of an analyte in a specimen that can be consistently detected. Detection limit can be influenced by buffer conditions, method, and the type of analyte used. A signal-to-noise ratio (S-N) of between 3 or 2 to 1 is considered acceptable to estimate the detection limit. Detection limit is determined in qualitative determination of impurities. For the method validation of sensitivity and detection limit in the main journal, minimum limits for detection signal-to-noise ratio of 3 of analytes were in the range of 7.5 to 30 nanogram per ml. The stacking capillary electrophoresis method increases sensitivity more than 200-fold and can be applied for detection of the presence of methamphetamine in urine. The stacking capillary electrophoresis method is considered as a fast screening of abuse drugs in urine. For Journal 2, the detection limits of the 62 analytes are listed in Table 1 in the journal. Among the 62 analytes, 57 analytes listed in the journal provided good sensitivity with detection limits of below than 40 nanogram per ml, which was much lower than the cut-off concentration. Meprobamate, latotamate, temazepam, clobazam, and barbital were analyzed with detection limits of more than 70 nanogram per ml. However, their detection limits were still lower than their respective cut-off concentration. For Journal 3, estimated detection limit of the whole solid phase extraction method varied from 0.6 to 18.2 nanogram per liters. These values were calculated based on the signal-to-noise ratio of the chromatographic peaks for target compounds in the extracts from the samples and the volume of each matrix submitted to the solid phase extraction step. Codeine, COD, and morphine, MOR, were found in most samples, whereas the rest of the compounds normally remained below the detection limit. SPE-GC-MS-MS method provided detection limits of 0.8 to 50 nanogram per liters, which is similar to the SPE-LC-MS-MS method.
Selectivity is defined as the ratio of the two retention factor of the solute. This is the same for CE. Based on the formula given, where T2 and T1 are the retention time for the two solute where selectivity is more than 1. Selectivity can be improved by adjusting the pH of the buffer solution. The purpose is to change the charge of the species being eluted. Robustness is an analytical procedure referred to its capability to remain unaffected by small but deliberate variation in the method parameter. It is distinct from the precision which cover the term repeatability, intermediate precision, and reproducibility. Repeatability expresses the precision under the same operating condition over a short interval of time. For the intermediate precision referred to within laboratory variations such as different days, analysis, and equipment. Lastly is reproducibility referred to between laboratory variation. For method validation of selectivity and robustness in this main journal, there is no mention of selectivity and robustness, but we found in other journal. From the journal Chromatography, the title is Development and Robustness Testing of a non-aqueous capillary electrophoresis method for the analysis of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. From all they know, no data including the method robustness study has been reported in capillary electrophoresis method. Based on Journal 2, from the selectivity test in HPLC, urine sample from 3 healthy female and 3 healthy male were used. After a 5-fold dilution of the drug-free urine, each drug-free sample was analyzed by the UHPLC QTOF mass spectrometry method in positive and negative mode. The results show that there was no endogenous interference with the same exact mass and mutation time as the 62 abused drug and their metabolites. Based on Journal 3, solid phase extraction provide adequate enrichment factors. It is robust and well established in most analytical laboratories. However, with a few exemptions, the selectivity of SPE is rather limited. Consequently, complex extracts, which normally lead to signal suppression in liquid chromatography mass spectrometry measurements, and even unreliable results in the most critical situation are obtained.